Hi guys, so my name is Dr. Ubongudofia and I'm the consultant that is in charge of the drug addiction recovery program, the recovery path. We help people who are struggling with gambling, alcohol and drug addiction. We help them come out of addiction. So I will just use a few minutes to explain what we do in the program. Now we understand that drug addiction is a condition that is partly under the person's control and partly not under the person's control. If you don't apply measures that are not conventional, a person cannot really be said to come out of addiction. If all you're doing is teaching, you're not striking the addiction at the root. How do we now help people out of addiction? The program is a 6 months program, minimum of 3 months program, and we focus primarily on an easy to learn style of therapy, an easy to learn and easy to teach style of therapy. And we do this using a workbook. So we have a workbook, and the workbook is very easy to explain. So this is an entire workbook. It's a 31-page workbook. So we guide a patient to getting knowledge. The patient needs to know certain things, and with this knowledge they can come out of addiction. So the knowledge basically is we give them knowledge on what addiction is, and aside the knowledge we encourage them to practice certain things, and it's a practice of the knowledge that helps them come out of addiction. And then we now teach them how to modify the environment in a way that it's conducive for recovery or living a life without drugs. That's not all. Attached to the workbook, we have exercise books, because there are lots and lots of writings to be done. So the exercise book come with biro pens, basically this. Teaching without homework, without assignment is a waste of time. When you teach and when they write, it takes that knowledge somewhere deep inside them. So there's teaching, and then there's participating, there's homework, that is out of session tasks or assignment that we give. But that's not all. That's not all. We also utilize the assistance of media aid. So each person is entitled to one of these MP3 devices, and they have their own earpiece. So each person has his own earpiece that he will be using with the media devices. So the media devices, so we can go to the music. So there are many things that they can learn. There are meditations, there are lectures. So they get to play and participate with this. They can use this even outside session. Part of the coping methods, coping skills that we teach, part of it is on this device. On this device. So that's basically that. So they're entitled to their own earpiece. We don't believe in sharing earpiece. So this is some of the things that we do. After they're done with the first part of the workbook, they use a second workbook. Now this workbook teaches life skills. It teaches goal setting. It teaches how to handle emotions, because emotions are the most difficult things to handle. It teaches goal setting, how to get to their 6 months goal. We guide them through the process. We teach them how to cut off from old friends. We teach them how to make new friends, how to get new networks, because they cannot have the same old networks in the recovery part. So this is the second book. Now, the recovery part program works with psychologists, we work with therapists, we work with psychiatrists, we work with nurses, we work with occupational therapists, and we teach them skills. In addition to that, there is personal development. So we have a library of books. There are a couple of books. There is a book on communication. There is a book of the art of being alone, because boredom can be a problem. Then there's how to win friends and influence people. You know, in order to form new networks, you need to have the skills of making friends. These are important things. There's also Atomic Habits. Okay. There's also 7 Habits of Effective People. We teach them how to change their thinking pattern. And yes, there's a Bible, because definitely everybody needs to have a spiritual journey. It's always important. The Art of Laziness. So there are so many books that we guide them through. There's Keys That Flog, The Rules of Love, Master Your Emotions. There's The Richest Man in Babylon. There's Public Speaking, How to Talk to Anyone at Any Time and Anywhere. Then there's a 360 Leader, and then there's Influence. So there's a whole lot that they do. It's important to mention that just giving them a book to read is not enough. They have the opportunity to discuss what they read. So they are told that after reading, you will discuss with the entire group on what changes that you are making in your life. And this form of participation helps the patients to have new habits. So in addition to teaching, we also create new habits, because remember, addiction is a habit. And a habit basically is a network of neuronal development in the brain. So with every new habit, there are neuronal branches, neurons are branching in your brain, so that the habits are easier to engage with. So we teach new habits while in the program. The new habits replace the old habits. Why? Because when they find out that the new habits are more rewarding, they would abstain from the old habits for a while, which causes death of the branches that were formed in the brain. So these are some of the steps, or some of what we do in the Recovery Path program. It's important to mention that we also involve family members a whole lot. Family members have to be involved in the program because the outpatient component, let's say we expect you at a session and then for some reason you tell us that you're not coming because you have a chore or something, we have to call in and confirm from your family members that you are actually where you said you were. Because the journey is not easy. So you might get tired and say, I'm not doing this again, and nobody would know. So there has to be that constant communication between the unit and the family members. So we call your family members a lot. Number 2, we need to do random drug testing. In as much as you are participating from the outpatient, there might be temptation for you to go and use drugs, and we have to know these things because, like I said, this is a journey. We have an impeccable track record. So we put all of these measures in place to ensure that you are in recovery. So if there are questions that you want to know about the program, feel free to reach out to me. Now remember, it's a 6 months program. 2 months is preferably inpatient, while the remaining 4 months would be the outpatient. But the short course of the program is 2 months inpatient and then 1 month outpatient. But if you don't want admission, we still have a successful plan for outpatient, but it's very stressful. It's more stressful than the inpatient section. Have a great day.